Hey guys, it's the Melblade 5, Max More, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Last time we returned to the Temple of Time and found out that Sheik is Zelda? What? I mean, it's not like this game is 20 years old and everybody already knows that plot twist from how famous it is and because of Smash Brothers. What? But then Zelda got kidnapped by Ganondorf and now we have to go to Ganondorf's castle to stop him from getting the other two Triforce pieces and ruling the world. And as I said last time, I went to get a new fairy and also got a blue potion from Kakariko Village. And now, I have made full training and preparation so that I do not make any more mistakes for the rest of this Let's Play. Because now, we have reached the final dungeon of the game. Ganon's Castle. I could have sort of started off this whole part of the last episode, but I thought because it was so long anyway that I should just save it for the beginning of this episode anyway.
Link, can you hear me? It's Rauru, the Sage. We six will gather our power to create a bridge to the castle where Ganondorf dwells. The castle's key, which is known as Ganon's Tower, is protected by 6 evil barriers. Bring down the 6 barriers and save Princess Zelda.
And now we completely ruined Ganondorf's style by creating this rainbow bridge in front of the castle, which looked far more interesting and detailed in 3D, where it had, like, barricades along the side to make sure you don't fall over. But now we start off the final dungeon! The inside of Ganon's castle! First things first, they just throw Beamos at us for some reason, which you can just easily walk past anyway. And now, to the hub room! As Rauru said, the entrance to Ganon's Tower is blocked by a barrier, so we need to go around the outside and complete these trials which represent all the other sages in order to dispel the barrier. First up is the Forest one. And we immediately start off with Wolfos, but I know I can actually, if I keep attacking you, I can just hit you anyway, so this is entirely pointless for you to block. There, you die! Killing him will create a chest that gives you 5 rupees. Not really that much. I mean, I went back to Kakariko Village and got a blue potion to use for our new empty bottle, so I do have some spare room, but what we need to do in this first room, these trials are generally separated into 1 or 2 rooms. We need Din's Fire and the Fire Arrows. First, we're going to set everything on fire down here, and for some reason, the wooden chest is not affected. And then immediately switch to the Fire Arrows and shoot a torch that is up there. With that, oh, I wanted to collect the arrows. And with that, we can move on to the second room of this, which has the fans from the Shadow Temple for some reason. I want to obviously use the hover boots here, which means I'm going to probably mess this up a lot. I want to wait till the fans are actually activated, and there's going to be a very loud sound effect like that when they do, because you're going to have pushed all the way over here. Then there's a Beamos that I'm going to have to kill in order to make this so much easier. Let's see, just hopefully I don't slip off the edge again. There. And now I can just run onwards. Oh, I thought I messed it up again. As long as you're on this level, you're not going to get affected by the fans, thank God. And go this way, and then we can go... Whoop! And then hit the switch! And then hit the switch! Because that will actually create a hookshot target up there. Oh, God. Why do the fans have to be blowing now? Okay, there. They're done. So now get that one. Whoo! Okay. Hearing the sound freaked me out. The last silver rupee is on a very small platform next to that fan. You obviously want to go after it when the fan is not blowing. And I believe, actually, when I stop this one, it's going to create a mini cutscene to show the door unlocking. So that's actually going to stop me from slipping off the platform as well, which is very nice. And now that we've completed those 2 rooms, we reach this green orb, which is actually controlling the forest barrier, part of the barrier, you generally want to destroy the pots first before taking care of that, because you're actually going to get warped back to the hub room once you do this. It's very convenient, but just in case you need, like, magic or health, I recommend destroying the pots first. You have to shoot a light arrow at this to destroy it, so I'm showing this off before you even getting to use the flippin' ice arrows.
The forest barrier is dispelled. Hurry up, Link.
Die, psycho bitch! That's why I shot you through the heart! I could have sworn I saw the arrow in the flipping cutscene as well. So now I'm gonna deal this with going around in a circle. It's generally better to go in the anti-clockwise route, because you'll actually get something that you have to use in order to beat some of the other ones. Now, for the 101, they oddly based it on the ice cavern for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. Unfortunately, that means I'm gonna have to get rid of some. Get rid of one of these fairies, get some blue fire, but luckily, they actually give you a fairy in the very next room, so I'm actually pretty happy about that. First off, though, you need to get the blue fire to melt the red ice, but you also need to kill 2 freezers that are in this room in order to get the door behind it to unlock in the first place. So you can kill everything very easily because I got the big Goron sword. And now, as we're going through here, by the way, you're gonna have to use blue fire in the next room, so you gotta go back and get some more, is something I've wanted to talk about for a very long time in this LV, being that Ganon's castle was originally gonna have a much, much bigger role in the game than what it does here. They were originally planning for the game to have a Super Mario 64 kind of setup, where you would be going around Ganon's castle, and you'd essentially just be going through paintings or something similar in order to go to the dungeons, I mean. But once they found out that the N64's hardware wasn't as limited as what they initially thought, they could make it more open world, which is why the final game is the way it is. But obviously, they kept the Super Mario 64 aspect over for the Phantom Ganon fight by having them go through the paintings. And then there's something else that I want to talk about with this game as well, but I'm gonna save it for the next trial that we go through, because I need to explain this. Of course, we have a timer here. You gotta do this entire puzzle and go through the door before the time runs out. That pot that I just walked past here to push this, that is what has the fairy in it, so I want to keep my bottle ready for this. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to do some kind of awkward backtracking and all that just to get another fairy. Just melt the ice, and actually, I think you need the Megaton Hammer to hit this, because it looks rusted. Yes, you do. So, hey, even the dungeon item that I think gets used kind of the least is at least getting some use in this damn dungeon. And now that we've dealt with that, I'm gonna go and destroy that pot and hopefully get that fairy. I always get nervous I'm gonna mess up catching fairies. Go! Yes! Whoo! Now, I do not need to use empty balls for any mandatory tasks ever again. I'm just gonna immediately switch to the light arrows because the water barrier orb thing, I don't know what the official names of those things are, is in the very next room. Eventually, as I can get through here. Now, if you could give me some magic, that would be nice. I think all of these generally have at least one pot that gives you magic, though, because they know you're gonna have to use light arrows to destroy this damn thing. Now, am I gonna shoot Ruto in the heart? More like the head from where it's positioned.
The water barrier is dispelled.
Hurry up! I was about to comment on the fact that the arrow didn't appear in the cutscene that time, and I just saw it just poking into the top of her head. It's like the ultimate plot twist. I rescue the sages, only to later kill them and join Ganondorf's side! What is it, like that one game that has like a thing like Mass Effect where you can choose to be like, I don't know, you choose whatever you want, and then you can, like, join the bad guy at the very end. I think probably Far Cry 3 is what I'm thinking of. Okay, so for the Shadow one, what you have to do here is you need to use fire arrows here. That chest over there just has blue rupees. You need to use the hook shot to reach that. Light this torch with it, or you could just miss like me, and you can miss again. 4 times the charm? Nope. Come on. There's always a little bit of a delay between when you can use like the powered up arrows and all that, which is kind of annoying. Don't get hit by the bubble. Jump over here. These are all on the timer, so you gotta be fast. There's a leg over here, which is annoying. I'm going to avoid him immediately, and then go after him. At least he wasn't invincible when he shouldn't be. And then, when you get over this side, you can just shoot the torch again, although it's pretty dark over here. So, having a bit of difficulty actually seeing it. Did that one much faster. Then you want to immediately hit down here. The platform this switches on does not disappear. And then you want to use the hook shot to latch back onto that chest once I can see it. Eventually. There. And this is... Oh, wrong. No, wait, it's the right side. Why wouldn't you let me open it? This is actually a dungeon item. For once, they give you a dungeon item in the final dungeon of the game. You found the golden gauntlets! You can feel even more power coursing through your arms. Grab with A and lift stuff up. Oh, there's plenty of things I would like to grab with A. Anyway, this time, we do not actually have to light a torch. We just need to use the lens of truth here, because there's some very thin platforms that we need to walk across, so I'm a bit nervous. Luckily, these aren't ice, despite the way they look. Another Megaton Hammer switch. That'll unlock the door. Then use the lens of truth again to get back on here. I do not want to have to fall through here and go back through this whole room again. This is one of the ones where there's only one room that you have to go through. Yep. Oh boy. Okay, luckily I just made it. There. And that torch can actually also, activate the timed platforms. Arrows and more magic. Okay. Now where's Impa gonna get shot at? If I'm really skilled enough, I could get her right between the tits. Oh, this time it actually disappeared like it's supposed to.
The shadow barrier is dispelled. Please save the princess.
But now that we have the golden gauntlets, I have to do a little bit of a break in the tension here. There is something we can actually do outside of Ganon's castle, and it's very much worth your time, so cut in your head to that. If we walk past the bridge from when we first came into this place, and obviously underneath the destroyed archway, we can find this big-ass column here. And this is something that we can only move with the power of the golden gauntlets. And watch this awesome mini-scene. We just chucked the damn thing. And I'm gonna have to switch over to the Ocarina for this because it is a Great Fairies Fountain and the last one in the game. Welcome, Link. I am the Great Fairy of Courage. I'm going to enhance your defensive power. Receive it now. Your defensive power is enhanced! Your defensive power has been enhanced. It just said that. Damage inflicted by enemies will be reduced by half. When battle has made you weary, please come back to see me. So with taking half damage, we essentially have 40 hearts. It's almost like Breath of the Wild, where I actually do not know what the maximum number of hearts in that game is. I've never gotten all the hearts myself. It's a lot! Returning to head to the fire trial, where we need the golden gauntlets in order to beat this one. We're going to be in a very hot room, so we're going to have to switch to the Goron tunic. And also a little bit of a tip here. Normally this big platform in the center would sink, but if you wear the hover boots for this, you're actually so light that it doesn't sink. However, these ones, they still will, so get off them fast. But as we're going around collecting these silver rupees, it's time for the other rant that I wanted to go on. And I wanted to save to obviously once it's revealed that Sheik is actually Zelda, because it's purely about that. And that has actually to do with Sheik's gender, because it's a bit of a debate around this. Obviously, Sheik is referred to as a man in this game, potentially just to make the plot twist. I guess not to give away the plot twist. I mean, I could have said made it less obvious, but I think it's more obvious just because of everybody kind of knows it nowadays and not at the time this game came out. However, in games like Smash Bros. And Hyrule Warriors, Sheik is referred to as female. But that only really applies to the English versions, because in the Japanese versions, Sheik is still referred to as a man. So it's possible that this was sort of changed in the English versions to potentially sort of disassociate the whole plot twist with sex changes. Because, you know, even though they're not so much controversial nowadays, at the time they sort of were, and there are still some people that are kind of against it. I'm not really fussed, honestly. So obviously they might have made Sheik female, so, you know, to prevent any more further controversy on that sort of subject. However... Oh, God. Wait a minute. Oh, I don't have to collect the silver rupees again. Okay, this is actually very nice. However, in an interview shortly before Hyrule Warriors came out, Bill Trinen said that Sheik is definitively a woman. However, it is worth noting that Bill Trinen obviously is a part of Nintendo of America, so he could have been talking about the American perspective. But obviously things get even more confusing when in Smash Bros. Ultimate they actually refer to Sheik as a man in the Palutena's guidance, so it's a whole confusing mess. I think actually in the Zelda manga, because yes, I know I don't see many people talk about this, but there is actually a Zelda manga. It does actually mention that when they sort of adapted Ocarina of Time, they said that they have like an original scene where Impa is sort of like training Zelda after they fleed from Ganondorf, and it even straight up mentions that Zelda has to become a boy.
The fire barrier is dispelled! Hurry up, brother!
I couldn't think of anything to say during that cutscene. But anyway, now onto the light one. Of course, you can see one of those big columns, so you actually need the golden gauntlets just to access this one in the first place. Then we can deal with it with another epic-ass scene. In which you just chuck the column into the barrier to destroy it. one's obviously a bit weird because it doesn't really have a dungeon to base itself on. There is a sculpture in the middle here, which I realized I should just use the hook shot. There. Then there are also keys in here, I know that. Luckily the Z targeting icon just sort of gives away their location. And I can just take them out with a big horn sword. Once you kill them all... aha! Get over here. I want to actually be cool. You know what? Let's see if I can... yeah! There! Once you kill them all, this is going to create a chest, and that actually has the small key in it. The other ones I think are just small things like hearts or potentially rupees or maybe even traps. I've never really bothered opening them. So, you know, just try to avoid them, really. So, head on through here. And I believe... right. This one, you just play Zelda's Lullaby. And that just spawns the chest that gives you the small key. It's not really sort of much of a puzzle, really. It's something that's clearly been established in the whole game, so I don't even know what the point of this room even existing is. And we've got another silver rupee collecting quest. This time with big-ass boulders around the outside. And I probably should not have walked out until then, but whatever. Through here, there is a hookshot target up on the ceiling. That's how you get that one. That one, oop! Where's the last... that was weird what the camera just did there. There! I kind of guessed from process of elimination that would have to be the case, but fortunately the boulder still spins, so... oh no, it's gonna catch up to me. I can't even see what I'm doing very well because it's blocking my view! Damn it. Okay. Now for the orb. It's not actually here, but that's because, as you probably guessed, Lens of Truth, secret passageway, and alright, I forgot. Yeah, there's a wall master in there. I kind of forgot about that because I just generally just go through that room sort of just instantly. Because again, actually watching Let's Plays of Ocarina of Time before playing it, I just already knew that.
The lake barrier is dispelled. Hurry!
Unfortunately, my killing spree has come to an end. Nobody's getting shot at anymore. And, of course, Naburu has to wait to be last, just as always. Luckily, we do not actually need the golden gauntlets to actually take care of the spirit one, so I could have done this one first, but I thought it'd obviously be more fitting if I just went around the anti-clockwise way. More silver rupee collecting, and there's obviously Beamos in the middle, so I should take care of him first before he becomes really freaking annoying. What? How did he not die? I just blinded him more so. Of course, you want to push these statues so the spike traps aren't constantly blocking the way. If you just power through, you can actually sort of like squeeze through and just sort of get them anyway without having to do this, which, I don't know. I've got like kind of a bit of time, so I don't really think I feel the need to do that and be like, oh, speed running and stuff or whatever. Just kind of stop there once obviously you have plenty of room to actually just squeeze through. Or you can just miss it somehow. And obviously the same with the other one, which I almost hit anyway. And eventually, once I pull this back, kind of reminds me how there were like puzzles like this in Link to the Past, and when like you'd sometimes have to push statues like extremely close to like, whoa, almost walked in that, extremely close to like the wall, so the spike traps get stuck, and I think I've just gotten hit there. I became a ghost as well. There, that's the true plot twist. Not only was everybody else a ghost, but Link was a ghost as well the whole time. That's like, I don't know, what's that game where you're like secretly the bad guy the whole time? Like Braid, I think, and it probably just ruined that whole game for everybody. It's like that level of plot twist. This one is actually a bit weird. You actually have to use bomb chews for this because there's a little sort of gap in the bars over there. You do get a chest actually for bomb chews in here, but I don't see. Oh right, duh! Hit the damn switch. I don't consider that a mistake because I didn't really get anything wrong. I just gotta line myself upright, which is the thing, which is not the easiest thing to do, I've found from my entire time playing this game. Well, I mean, this version. Again, you know what I mean. But there, got it! Pretty much dead center. And move on. And I know there's gonna be another case of a wall master showing up, so I gotta be fast about this. You're gonna have to switch back to fire arrows here, because you're gonna have to reflect light onto sun faces, but there's webs blocking it, so destroy that. And I know this is where the frickin' wall master shows up, so I can still use the mirror shield if I put the big Goron sword away, but just to make this sort of go faster so I don't have to worry about the damn... There, I did it without even looking. I obviously just knew that was the right one, just from sort of memory, but also just obviously just because I looked it up just to refresh my memory on everything, because I definitely do not want to mess up in the last dungeon of all places. And of course, the last of these orbs, obviously to destroy the spirit barrier. I want to switch back to the big Goron sword so I can prepare myself for the damn tower. Then switch to the light arrows, and let's see. It seems to happen more with the women, so maybe Naburu will also get screwed over. Sorry for this.
The spirit barrier is dispelled. Hurry up, kid.
And now with the barrier destroyed, we can head towards Ganon's tower. But I think that's enough time for an episode. So, next time on Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, we're going to continue through Ganon's castle by heading towards Ganon's tower, which is essentially the final stretch of the game. So take care, and I'll see you guys next time. And I wish the camera did not change there.